Your dog has been quietly asking one question: am I safe with you? The answer isn't found in perfect obedience, or in how wildly they greet you. It appears in 7 small choices most owners overlook. And perhaps the most powerful one happens when your dog feels safe enough to tell you no. If you recognize these behaviors, you may have passed the most important test of all. Dogs cannot say, "I trust you," in words. But through repeated, voluntary choices, they may show that your presence has become connected with safety, predictability, and comfort. The problem is that many behaviors described online as proof of trust can have several meanings. A dog showing its belly may want affection, but it could also be communicating uncertainty. A dog following you everywhere may enjoy your company, or it may struggle with being alone. A dog that remains completely still during nail trimming may look cooperative, even when it has actually frozen from fear. So trust should never be judged from one pose, one gesture, or one dramatic moment. Instead, look for a pattern: relaxed body language, voluntary interaction, freedom to move away, and the confidence to return. And as we explore these 7 behaviors, notice that the strongest signs of trust are often the quietest. The first sign isn't excitement, it is the absence of vigilance. A dog that feels uncertain may continue monitoring everything around it. The body remains prepared to move. The ears react to every sound. Even while lying down, the muscles may stay tense. But when your dog regularly becomes loose and unguarded in your presence, something important may be happening. The eyes look soft, rather than wide or fixed. The jaw and facial muscles appear relaxed. The body rests naturally, instead of remaining rigid. Your dog may sigh, stretch, change sleeping positions, or settle without constantly watching your movements. Animal welfare guidance describes relaxed dogs through their whole body, not one isolated feature. Loose muscles, a soft face, comfortable movement, and the willingness to initiate rest or interaction can suggest that a dog feels safe in that moment. That qualification matters. In that moment, no sleeping position automatically proves trust. A dog may choose a place because it is cool, warm, quiet, or familiar, but when deep relaxation repeatedly occurs around you, it may become part of a larger pattern. Your dog is no longer treating your presence as something that must be monitored. Your presence has become part of the place where vigilance can finally stop. Many owners believe trust means a dog never wants to leave their side. But one of its clearest possible expressions may be the opposite. Your dog feels free to walk away. It explores another room, sniffs independently on a walk, rests at the opposite end of the sofa, or becomes interested in something that has nothing to do with you. Then, without being called or pulled, it comes back. This matters because trust is most meaningful when a dog has a choice. A leash, closed door, corner, or command can keep a dog physically close. Those things cannot tell us how the dog feels. Voluntary return is different. Your dog may briefly touch your leg, glance toward you, settle nearby, or bring something into the room where you are sitting. The interaction might last only a few seconds before the dog moves away again. Do not dismiss that independence as rejection. A secure relationship does not always look like constant contact. Sometimes, it looks like a dog confidently exploring because it expects you to remain predictable. Trust can appear in the freedom to leave and the confidence to return. This next behavior has a genuine scientific foundation. Research suggests that an owner can function as a secure base for a dog. In experiments, dogs engage differently with tasks, depending on whether their owner was present. Researchers concluded that the effect was connected specifically to the owner, not simply to the presence of any person. In simple terms, your dog may feel more able to explore when you are nearby. Picture a dog entering an unfamiliar environment. It moves forward to investigate, then glances back. It approaches something new, pauses, and returns to its person. After a moment, it tries again. That does not mean the owner can remove every fear. It also does not mean every glance is a profound emotional message. Your dog may be waiting for a learned cue, watching your movement, or anticipating a reward. But across repeated situations, exploration combined with voluntary check-ins can suggest something deeper. Your dog does not merely want you to solve the world for them. Your presence may help make the world feel manageable. This is an important distinction. Dependency says, I cannot function without you. A secure base says, because you are here, I feel safer investigating what comes next. Imagine your dog hears an unfamiliar sound. The head lifts. The ears change position. The body pauses. Then your dog looks toward you. That small check-in may indicate that your response matters. Dogs are sensitive to human behavior. In unfamiliar situations, some may use a familiar person as a source of information. They may watch the person's face, move closer, or briefly make contact before deciding what to do. But this behavior must be read carefully. A glance is not always a request for reassurance. Your dog might be expecting a command, tracking your movement, or checking whether food is about to appear. Look at what happens around the glance. Is the dog able to recover and continue exploring? Does the body become looser when you respond calmly? Can the dog choose between approaching and creating distance? The goal is not to force eye contact. A hard, prolonged stare can be uncomfortable, especially for an unfamiliar or worried dog. Soft, voluntary engagement is different. When your dog quietly checks in and then continues, it may be saying, I noticed something. Before I decide what it means, I want to know what you think. That is not blind obedience. It is communication. Sleep places an animal in a vulnerable state. A dog that repeatedly chooses to sleep while you move through the room may feel sufficiently safe to lower its awareness. Notice the word chooses. Your dog does not need to sleep pressed against you. Some dogs enjoy close physical contact. Others prefer the opposite end of the room, a doorway, a cool floor, or their own bed. Distance does not automatically mean distrust. The more useful question is whether your dog can truly settle. Does the breathing become slow and regular? Does the body soften? Can you stand up without causing an immediate startled reaction every time? After briefly checking what you are doing, can your dog return to sleep? These patterns may suggest comfort, but they are not a scientific trust detector. Temperature, age, breed, health, noise, and previous experience all influence how and where a dog sleeps. The emotional meaning lies in the repeated pattern. Your dog expects ordinary life around you to remain safe enough for rest. Not every movement needs to be investigated. Not every sound demands an escape plan. In a noisy and unpredictable world, your presence may have become part of the quiet. This may be the most important sign, and the one most people misunderstand. Trust does not mean your dog accepts everything you do. Sometimes, trust means your dog expects you to listen when the answer is no. A dog might turn its head away when it no longer wants contact. It may pause before approaching, move away from a hand, stop offering a paw, or leave during an interaction. Those behaviors do not automatically prove trust. Avoidance can also reflect fear, stress, pain, or a simple desire for distance. But consider what may happen in a relationship where subtle signals have consistently been respected. The dog learns that it does not need to escalate immediately. A turned head works. Moving away works. Pausing works. The person notices, removes pressure, and allows another choice. Over time, the dog may communicate earlier and more quietly, because experience has taught it that quiet communication is effective. This changes the meaning of being a good dog owner. You have not succeeded because your dog tolerates every hug, grooming session, or unwanted touch without protest. You have succeeded when your dog can communicate discomfort and expects that communication to matter. So when your dog walks away, do not immediately treat it as rejection. Sometimes, the deepest sign of trust is not an enthusiastic yes. It is a quiet no that your dog believes will be heard. Now we reach the behavior that can look most like obedience, but the crucial difference is choice. Your dog may approach when you bring out a brush. It may offer a paw, place its chin in your hand, step onto a scale, or return after being given a break. This is cooperative behavior, but remaining still is not enough. A frightened dog may freeze. Its body can become rigid, its mouth may close suddenly, and it may lean away, while appearing to allow handling. That is tolerance, or possible shutdown, not necessarily trust. Voluntary cooperation looks different. The body remains reasonably loose. The dog can take food, if food is normally motivating. It stays by choice, has opportunities to disengage, and can return without being forced. This kind of trust develops through predictable experiences. You touch briefly, then stop. You reward calm participation. You notice discomfort before it becomes panic. You divide difficult procedures into manageable steps. And you do not punish a dog for communicating that it needs a break. Current veterinary behavior guidance supports reward-based methods and warns against techniques that depend on fear, pain, force, or emotional discomfort. Trust is not created by proving that resistance is useless. It is created when your dog learns that participation is safe, communication works, and your actions are predictable. So, did you pass your dog's secret test? Not literally. Dogs are not sitting somewhere with a checklist, awarding points for perfect ownership. You passed represents something more meaningful, hundreds of ordinary interactions in which your dog learned what to expect from you. You gave space when the body became tense. You allowed exploration without demanding constant attention. You made handling predictable. You noticed quiet communication, and when your dog returned, you made that return feel safe. That is how trust grows. Not through one grand gesture, but through small experiences repeated until safety becomes an expectation. Remember that behavior can change because of pain, illness, medication, aging, sensory decline, or other medical problems. If your dog suddenly avoids touch, stops resting normally, becomes unusually clingy, resists handling, or shows a significant change in behavior, consult your veterinarian. Persistent fear, shutdown, separation, related distress, or aggression should be discussed with a veterinarian or a qualified reward-based behavior professional. Never diagnose trust, anxiety, trauma, or attachment from one behavior or a short piece of footage. Look at the complete dog, the surrounding situation, and what is normal for that individual. Your dog may trust you if they can relax around you, if they can leave and confidently return, if your presence helps them explore, if they check in when the world becomes uncertain, if they can sleep while ordinary life continues around them, if they expect their boundaries to be respected, and if cooperation remains a choice, rather than something forced upon them. But no single behavior delivers a final verdict. Trust is a pattern built from relaxed body language, voluntary choices, consistent communication, and time. Your dog may never say the words "I trust you," but every time they settle beside you, return after exploring, or quietly communicate a boundary, they may be telling you something just as powerful. With you, I know what happens next. With you, my voice matters. With you, I can let my guard down. And if your dog has learned that, then perhaps you really did pass. Which of these 7 behaviors have you noticed in your dog? Tell us in the comments, and include what was happening around your dog at the time, because context changes everything. And if you want to understand the quieter warning signals that dogs often show before they become overwhelmed, watch the next video. Your dog is begging for help, but you keep missing these signs. Learning to recognize those signals may be one of the most important ways to protect the trust your dog has placed in you.